What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the first ever episode of the ThirdPoop podcast. I am joined by my co-host, Poopyman 1998. Poopy, how you doing?
I'm pretty good, man. Pretty good. Looking forward to this. This is going to be a lot of fun.
I've been looking forward to this for weeks. We've been talking about doing this for a good minute now.
We really fucking have.
Absolutely. So, do we want to kind of touch base real quick on how this came to be?
Yeah. I mean, in the end, we're kind of the same person, man. So we both have this huge, giant love of video games. We both have a giant love of streaming. Both have a giant love of movies. I mean, when you put those things together, and we're also pretty fucking cool dudes. So
pretty cool dudes. Yeah, it's all right.
Not trying.
It's there's no way this wasn't gonna happen. So for those of you that don't know, Poop and I are both a member of a stream team called Potato Bomb Squad, and that's how we met months ago. And I feel like initially, we knew of each other, but didn't really talk very much. And then it became a point where inevitably we're going to meet. And the minute we did, it's like every day, hey, you want to play video games? You want to play video games? Yeah. And that's all we did was play video games together for the first month.
Dude, it was literally every day. We're just like, you want to play games? You want to play games? I'll play games.
We've been doing it ever since. So we figured a podcast is the next easy step. Why not?
Yeah, it fucking is. I mean, dude, we were like instant fireworks. I fell in love with you. You fell in love with me. We made out for hours. It was fucking
It's great. I haven't told my mom about you yet, but I know she's going to love you.
Listen, I told mine about you, so you're going to have to get on it.
I'll text her. I'll text her when we're done here.
She's expecting marriage and grandchildren soon. So.
Okay. That's a good deal. I want 3 kids.
At
three
least.
kids.
Yeah, she wants a lot
of grandkids.
I want
at least 2 of them to look like me. The other one can look like you. That's fine.
I'm just not changing diapers. That's all I need.
We'll get a nanny. We'll get a nanny.
Dude, if kids came out at 4 years old, I'd have 50 kids.
Just full-grown toddlers.
I'd have 50 fucking kids. I'd have so many kids.
Just like juice.
I'd have
games on your
kids.
Phone.
Dude, I love kids when they're that age. They're so much fun. I don't know. I could play with kids all day. I'm sure that's gonna get taken out of context.
Yeah. So anyway, we decided to go the easy route for our first episode, and we are going to talk about the topic that we can't stop talking about all the time, which is going to be video games. So we're going to touch on how we got into video games, our experience with them throughout the years, because clearly technology and gaming in general has just changed so much over the past decade and even further than that. So, personally, Poopy Man, I would love to know what got you into gaming. I mean, what's some of your first memories you can remember that deal with gaming consoles and, favorite games?
It's funny. It's funny that we decided to kind of graze this topic first for the first podcast, because there's for me, there's this huge pomp and circumstance going on over Diablo 4. The beta just got released today. It's another part of the beta test, but I think it's a beta for a month and then it actually gets released. But Diablo was the game that got me into PC gaming. Diablo 2 came out when I was a kid, and I played so much fucking Diablo 2. It was stupid. I loved that game. It was so much fun. I used to play it with my buddy Casey, and we would play just hours and hours and hours of Diablo on PC. And after that, I moved back to console game. I mean, I was playing Nintendo and stuff when I was a kid, and Super Nintendo. That was always fun. But it was kind of recreationally fun as a kid, but I didn't get into seriously gaming until Diablo, and then I
feel that's fair.
Yeah.
I feel growing up, video games were weird for me because you wouldn't expect me to have access to them. I grew up on a small farm in a little rural town in Michigan, and that's all we did was work. Even at a young age, we'd work all day long and go to school, stuff like that. And eventually, my parents got us the first few really famous gaming consoles. We had a Nintendo 60. Did I just freeze?
You just froze.
Did I? There it goes. It's back.
Slowly.
That's fine. We can keep it.
Slowly. Hold on a second. Wait. Because you're still pixelated and messed up.
Basically, my parents got us a Nintendo 64. I can remember being, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old, sitting in my bedroom playing Donkey Kong on the N64 or Star Fox and games like that. And
dude,
eventually
Mario on the 64 was just...
Oh, dude, GoldenEye 007.
Oh, GoldenEye.
GoldenEye was the shit.
I forgot that on my top 10 too.
Dude. Oh, it's got to be on top 10. You know what's crazy for me though? is, you know, we moved eventually to the point where like I had an N64, and I have three brothers, so somehow well, I'm the third of three brothers. Somehow we divvied up the game system. So I had a Nintendo 64 in my bedroom. My oldest brother Robert had a PlayStation 2 in his bedroom, which I clearly remember playing like Dark Cloud and games on all the time. Time Splitters, you know, games that just aren't around anymore that were just amazing. Like cutting edge for the time games that inspired so many games that you'll play nowadays. Time Splitters was amazing.
Yeah.
In my brother Scott's room,
people still talk about Time Splitters.
Dude, we were just talking about it the other day. But in my brother Scott's room, not only did we have a Sega Dreamcast, which we also had one up at my grandmother's house that we'd play on every now and then. We had a little GameCube. And, you know, Sonic Adventures 2, all the Sonic games, I would just play the shit out of all the time. It just somehow worked out to where at some point in my life, gaming was always around. You know, when I was at home in my free time, I was either playing on a console. If I was in the car and my parents were driving, I had a Game Boy. I mean, even nowadays, if I'm not near my computer or something like that, I have phone games. Games is just part of my life at this point.
Dude, how good was Sonic 2? You ever play
Sonic
that?
Adventures 2? I still talk about it to this day. And there's people there's a divide. And I don't know why there's a divide. And it's only certain people I've talked to. There are certain people who grew up playing either The Legend of Zelda or Sonic, and for some reason did not touch. And I'm like, you gotta have the best of both worlds. I clearly remember playing Ocarina of Time.
Oh man.
For the N64 religiously.
So good.
Majora's Mask.
You know, I never played a lot of that.
Majora's Mask?
Yeah, regrettably. I always wanted to. I don't know why I never did. I think I just got busy with work at the time.
I fell off The Legend of Zelda. Like, I never played Wind Waker, Skyward Sword. I didn't play Breath of the Wild, which everyone's like, dude, you're nuts.
You're supposed to cream your jeans every time somebody says Breath of the Wild.
Here's what's going to upset you. So I'm notorious for buying things that I think I'm going to love and then never really using them. Yeah. I have a Nintendo Switch that I have played probably 4 times.
You have a Switch?
Yes, I have a Nintendo Switch. It just sits in my living room collecting dust. I let my roommates play on it. I have, I went out and bought an Oculus Quest 2 VR headset. I've played it probably 4 times.
Dude,
I've never streamed VR.
What?
I have it mounted right here, and I'm terrible.
Why wouldn't you play that? I'd play the fuck out of that thing.
I think it makes me motion sick. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you know, well, I hear that. I hear that's the thing.
Because I wear glasses, if I put on the headset without wearing contact lenses, everything's blurry for me.
Oh.
So I'll put in my contact lenses, and after a while, my stomach's like, oh, dude, you gotta take a break. And I'm like, oh, come on, man, this is like the future of gaming. We can't be getting sick over the future of gaming.
I'm in the future.
I'm supposed to be getting like, well, they have all these cool things, like, and I've never used any of them clearly, but they have like the heart monitors you can wear while you're gaming. Oh, yeah. They got VR headsets. They have, what's that vest called? The Woozer or whatever?
Is that the one where like you get shot and you feel like
you feel the vibrations where it hits.
That's cool,
yeah.
Man. Yeah, that's cool.
I can't afford that, but if I could.
Yeah, those things are like $1,500, aren't they?
I don't know what they start at, but I know they're gonna stop the minute I try to buy one.
Yeah. I'm gonna buy it and the price will drop 50%. Son of a bitch.
Gaming for me has just always been, I mean, what it is for everyone. It's a perfect escape. You know, like I grew up hard. You know, I think a lot of people did.
Get some tears going. It'd be great for the podcast.
Get out of here. But even the smallest thing, if you know, you got into a fight with your brothers, you had a bad day at school, something like that. Video games are there to escape reality. And it's amazing. I mean, like I said, I was a kid who it helped shape my creativity, my imagination. From N64 console to, like I said, Game Boys on the road. I can clearly remember my freshman year of high school, I received for Christmas my first ever gaming laptop. That's how I got into PC gaming, and I would play a lot of Minecraft. I used to play so much Minecraft, it's not even funny. For that and for the Xbox, I've been playing Minecraft since like day one.
You still play
Minecraft?
Which is
weird to say.
I don't think I've ever seen you play Minecraft.
I don't play much anymore. Well, you know, when you've played it for like a few thousand hours, it kind of gets old. Don't beat me up for saying that. I'm so sorry. I'll still play. I love the game.
Minecraft viewers tuning out right now. Fucking.
Well, like, here's another thing too. So I was always, after the PlayStation 2, I never owned another PlayStation. I've been an Xbox guy ever since. So I grew up playing all the Call of Duties. I wasn't really a Battlefield guy. I know there's a divide right there.
Yep.
I was always a Call of Duty kid. I played all the Call of Duties. Like, I'm the kid that would, as soon as a new game dropped, not only would I pre-order it, but I would take 2 days off of school just to like reach first prestige. So everyone did, because you know, if you missed that first day when the game dropped, you're fucked.
You're behind. You're way
Everyone's
behind.
level 40. You know, they all got golden and diamond gun skins. You're getting knifed and campers are shooting you from across the map. And you're like, dude, I just got on.
Remember, like, waiting in line at the game store to try to get the game before, you know, like on release.
And that's a thing that, like, see, that's like the history of gaming.
Yeah.
People don't do that anymore.
Listen, youngins, you don't even know what it's like. We had to sit out in the cold waiting for games to get released at midnight the night before.
There was a point in time
in line.
where GameStop was actually awesome.
Yeah.
And not bad like it is now. Like, people go to disc traders over GameStop these days. But GameStop back in the day, like, that's where you had to go. If you wanted to pre-order a video game, you had to go wait outside for hours in line to get that video game.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no digital. There was discs and cartridges. I still remember, like, I think it was the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 were the first consoles to have digital saves, right? Or was it the PlayStation 2?
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe, probably PlayStation 2.
But now they have consoles like the Xbox S series that are fully digital. You cannot put a disc in there.
We're gonna have to rename this podcast like two old ass gamers podcasters. I remember back in my day, things weren't digital. We had to wait outside for games.
Wait outside. It's terrible. You don't know the pain of not being able to save your games because you don't have a memory card.
Oh my god. Or the pain of like having a memory card and saving your games and then it fucking corrupts on you.
Oh my PlayStation 2 would crash all the time. Or like the red ring of death for the Xbox, or the Nintendo or Sega overheating. The battery or the fan going out in like a GameCube.
All of the stupid fixes that people came up with. Remember, like wrapping it in a fucking towel and turning it on forever.
You know what people used to say to do with discs? If your discs got super scratched up, they would say, cover it with toothpaste, put it in the freezer.
Oh my God.
And it would fill in the disc.
Does that work? Did that work?
No.
I never heard of it.
I tried everything. I run them underwater. I spit on them and let the spit like circle around it. You wipe it. Anything you could try to get your disc to work. There was nothing more painful than thinking about a video game all day long, just to come home, start it, load your save, which took fucking 15 minutes, and then as soon as you start playing, you get that, and it all just froze, and you're like, no, please, I'm begging you to work, and it never did. Do you have any idea how many discs back in the day I had that at some point just got snapped into because I was done with them?
Oh, I never snapped. Okay.
If it got to the point where there was like deep gashes in it because like the disc reader or something like that messed up and messed up your disc, which was also a thing that happened.
Yes.
Sometimes consoles ate your video games.
Yeah, fuck it up. This is how fucked up. I mean, not fucked up. Honestly, I think it was sound logic. You can tell me if you think it's sound logic too. Back in the day because my PlayStation 2, I have games on there that are still my favorite games to this day. That I would literally go down there right now, whip out and play because I fucking love them.
That's fair.
One of the games got like some scratches on it because it was one of the old. Remember the old PlayStation 2 games, the first ones that were like from Japan. They were blue on the other side, on the read side.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those because it's a Japanese. Yeah, it's a Japanese import. Yeah. And I played the shit out of this game. It's actually number 1 on my top 10. And it scratched a little bit and it wouldn't fucking play anymore. And I was like, oh god damn it. And like I get so fucking mad. Sometimes it would play, sometimes it wouldn't. And then it got to a point where it wouldn't. Here's how fucked up I was. Not fucked up, but so I never threw it away. I kept the disc and I never bought another one because I said to myself, in the future they're gonna invent a way to fix these. So I never threw any of my scratched up discs away. I've never actually checked on it.
I'm about to say, I don't think they just.
Moved on. You know yeah, they're just like fuck this.
There was eventually a point in console gaming where developers went, all that stuff you've been working on for the past few years, it's worthless. Throw it away. Throw it away. Because now the new gen, like, people don't understand. The first time we ever heard the words new generation of gaming, the new Call of Duty games, new Halo games, God of War games, Battlefield games, it's like, what even is this? All right, we're sounding super old. Do you want to
We
get
are.
into our top 10s?
I'm in. Yeah, I'm totally down for top 10. So
You are more prepared than I am because you wrote down your top 10s.
I
I'm
did.
gonna have to go off the old noggin.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll
I'm fine
start
either
with my all-time favorite,
Let's go.
and I think it's an obvious one. Because as a kid, this was a game that I think, I'm not gonna say a majority, I don't know, but me and all my friends were constantly at each other's houses having LAN parties or just playing.
I know where this is going.
Dude, every time you would fight over these discs. I want to borrow it tonight. I want to have it tonight. I am speaking of the Halo series.
Oh, I was wrong. I thought you were gonna say GoldenEye.
No, I'm speaking of the Halo series. Halo
Right.
was such a big series, and still to this day, I just streamed it the other day.
Mhm.
It's so near and dear to my heart. The soundtrack, the story, just like the Halo series for me is almost the perfection of gaming. And if you go back, don't get me wrong, Halo Infinite kind of took a twist, but like Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, even the Halo ODST games, Halo Reach,
Reach was
the
really
Halo
good.
games were always like you felt like you were there. You felt like you were the main character, Master Chief, just wiping out the Covenant. I love the Halo series. Easily top one.
Man, you started at number 1 and working your way
I
down.
did.
Damn. Okay. All right.
Oh, maybe I should have started at the. Well, I could think of the ones I like the most. I can't think of like the 10th one I like the most. So
That's why I wrote it
You
down.
start with your least favorite first, then. How's that?
All right, my least favorite.
Your
It's
10th.
it's my I'll call it my 10th. It's not my least favorite. It's in the 10th position. And this one actually came to me as I was writing the whole list, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta put this in here. I can't avoid it because I played so much of it. And nobody who's watching this is gonna be like, oh yeah, I played a shit ton of that game. Nobody's gonna fucking know this game. Whatever, I don't care. It's a fucking great game. And it was called Custom Robo, and it was for the GameCube. Now,
Dude, I played the shit out of Custom Robo.
the reason, listen, this is how into Custom Robo I was. I got a GameCube to play Custom Robo. I literally had no other games on my GameCube. I had nothing else. I had Custom Robo, and that was it. And I played a shit ton of Custom Robo.
I stumbled into Custom Robo. My brother had it, and I put it in one day, and it's like, this is awesome. It's literally robots fighting.
Yeah,
and you can
that's all it is.
customize
You
them.
can customize
Custom Robo.
You know, on the screen, for everybody who doesn't know what Custom Robo is, I'm gonna put a little Custom Robo footage somewhere in here, so you guys can watch it while we're talking about this. Yeah, Custom Robo, fucking amazing. That is my number 10, and I figured nobody was gonna know it. I was totally wrong. Of course, you're gonna know it because we're the same.
Dude, I
person.
loved that game. I really did.
It was such a good game. I would love more than anything if anybody who happens to watch this will head over into the comments and say, I played Custom Robo. Just put that in there. I would be surprised if there was more than 2. if more than 1, honestly.
That used to remind me of like Beyblade.
You know what Beyblade reminds me of, and I never played Beyblade. I think it was just because the name was, and I don't even know the name. Maybe it was just the logo. Remember that old stupid Crossfire game?
Oh my
It was like a
gosh.
stupid board game. I don't even know why Beyblade in my head got put together with Crossfire.
You're on 2 different waves. That's another thing too. Board gaming.
Yeah.
We'll touch on that some other time.
Yeah, you should put that in another episode. That's a
So
whole
I'll go-
different mashed potato.
I'll go to my second favorite of all time then.
Alright, let's do
And I streamed the 5th edition of this game for
Wait,
my
so
charity
was-
live stream.
Just to clarify, was number 1 all of Halo?
All of Halo, the Halo franchise. A lot of mine are going to be franchises
That's right.
because it would just be unfair to pick a single one to me.
All right.
But my second one, I played the 5th edition of this game for my charity live stream earlier in the year, and I had the best time imaginable. It's the Gears of War series.
Ooh, good picks.
I
Good pick.
love
switch one.
Gears of War. Gears of War for me goes right along with Halo to where, you know, it's these massive story games. You fall in love with the characters. My webcam froze again. It
Oh, it
froze
did?
on a stupid image.
At least you saw it. Oh, it's coming back.
It's coming back, but now everyone has a still shot of it. Whatever. The
Well,
Gears
no,
of
I
War
can
series for
I can
me
easily just edit it.
was perfection. Once again, you fell in love with the characters. You imagined you were right there with them. You wanted to fight for them. They were like, you thought they were so cool. And as a kid playing Gears of War, I remember clearly being at some random friend's brother's house, walking through the living room, and he's playing like Gears of War 2. And I'm a kid, I'm like, I don't know what that is. Years later, playing that, like Gears of War Versus back in the day, was like paralleled with Call of Duty multiplayer when it comes to competitive multiplayer gaming.
Yeah, it was. The story, man. The story for Gears was so good. I remember playing. What was it? Gears 4 where Dom died. Spoiler alert. I think it was 4 where Dom died, and it was just like.
No, it was Gears 3 where Dom died.
3? Oh man, yeah, so good. Like all the story of Gears of War is just fucking good, and it was never one of those games that they screwed up. Yeah, no, you do. You fall in love with the characters.
Even like even the spin-off, like if you could call Gears of War Judgment a spin-off, because it follows, you know, the story of Damon Baird before he joins, you know, that Gears team. Even that one was a hit. Mm-hmm. Like you fall in love with every character in that series.
Yeah, you really do.
It's so good, and you're emotionally connected. Every time one of them dies, especially like you said, when Dom died, dude, that broke the heart of fans.
That killed me, man. That was like it was like, and he went out like such a badass too.
Yeah, he did.
But like, I mean, the story was amazing. But like I was saying, that like they never screwed up the games. You know how in a lot of games, and you know, some people would say it happened with the Halo franchise, and certainly other franchises it has. There'll be a new crew that gets it and they fuck it up because they try to do too much, or maybe they do too little. I don't know. AAA games these days are a fucking mess.
You're talking about Halo 5?
I mean, I won't point
Halo
fingers.
5 Guardians.
But you know, the thing is,
and Halo Infinite.
Gears never did that. It was, and not to say that it was the same game every time, but it was close to it. I mean, you knew what you were getting. Hell, the weapons even stayed in there pretty much the entire time without many new ones. And they were so fucking amazing, and like it was still fun to play, and you knew what you were gonna get with a Gears game, which was a great fucking game because it was still a great game with a great story all the time.
They never changed the voice actors. They never changed the way the characters acted. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to see these specific characters age and be changed by the trauma they experienced through the series, and it all stuck with them. Nothing was forgotten, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did a great
job. It's so interesting. Like video games nowadays would do that through flashbacks. They never had to do it through flashbacks. They did it through creative writing and narration. Mm-hmm. You know, you can just tell. You can look in someone's eyes in that video game and tell, man, they are just hurting from the events of what happened. Because each game happens right after the next one, mm-hmm. besides the gap between or Gears of War 3 and Gears of War 4.
Yeah, there's a decent gap there. They're older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're older, and now it's the kids. You know what I mean?
That was good too.
That was really good. Yeah, they did that tastefully. They could have messed that up so bad.
Yeah, they could.
But they did that tastefully.
Okay, so that was your what? That was your 2? The Gears of War series?
That was my second.
All right. Mm-hmm. So then I'll move down to my 9th. This one, just a quick overview on it because it's nothing crazy. This was like a really fast, just beat 'em up, nostalgia kind of game for me, and it was a reason why I played the N64, and it's called Road Rash 64. Just a stupid, fucking fun Road Rash game. I don't know if you've ever played any of the Road Rash games, but like they're just stupid fun. You're racing other guys on a bike, and you can hit them and knock them off and fight with everybody on there and still race. Like, it was great. But Road Rash 64 was one of the first Road Rashes that introduced like arenas that you could just have a bunch of people in, just fucking each other up and doing tricks and whatever the fuck it is you wanted to do. Ton of fun. You beat the game, and then you just run into these arenas, and then you play those forever, and it was so much fucking fun. Road Rash 64. I don't know if you ever played it, or any of the Road Rash games.
I believe I have, yeah. I would have been young at the time, but yes.
Road Rash was a really good game. Yeah, that's my number 9.
It's going to take me to my 3rd, and I will although I love the entire franchise, I will pick out a specific game for this, and I'm going to go with BioShock 2. I love the BioShock franchise. If anyone I'm even near, even a stranger, if I overhear you speaking about BioShock, I'm going to start talking to you. It's so tastefully done. I don't know if you've ever played the series. It's so tastefully done. The artistic styling is amazing. The storytelling is great. It's that great balance of action and just clever story writing. You know, I love it. It's a phenomenal series. If you guys are a fan of the BioShock series, leave a comment. I love it. And tell me which game is your favorite, because they all have their own little twists. That's another series where some people say they messed it up with Bioshock Infinite. I don't think they messed it up. They just made it a little different. A lot of people didn't like the twist ending. One little spoiler, but I loved it. I thought it was great.
Well, I mean, was that the major difference between those two? Because like I've never played any of them. I watched my girlfriend play them.
Here's the thing: Bioshock 1 and 2 take place in Rapture, which is the city under the sea.
Oh, and Infinite was Cloud City, right?
It was
or like a cloud.
Yeah, it might have been Cloud City. No, it was Columbia.
All right,
the city in the sky.
It's in the sky. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I said, I watched my girlfriend play it, but I'm not sure.
So good. I streamed that a little bit, probably a month or two ago as well, with some Bioshock Infinite.
Nice.
Love the series. Okay. So that takes you to what, your 8th or 7th?
8th.
8th.
Man.
I know. I'm messing you up.
No. You're good. It's not that.
The worst part is I don't even have my next 4 picked out yet. So I'm gonna be running gunning.
Yeah, you got a minute. I mean, I'm not gonna go crazy on this one. So you literally only have a minute because this game I hate as much as I love.
Okay.
And I hate that I play it as much as I do, and I shouldn't play it as much as I do, but I do. And that's fucking Rainbow Six Siege.
I have such a love-hate relationship, mainly hate relationship with that game.
You know, I hate that I'm so fucking wrapped up in it that I keep playing it all the goddamn time. I mean, for anybody who's watching, I've got like over 3,000 hours into Rainbow Six Siege between console and PC. I moved from console to PC. I've been playing for years. It's like an 8-year-old game. I've been playing for like 7 of those 8 years. I hate that I do, but here I fucking am. And I throw it on number 8 because I feel like I have to. Because if I didn't, people would make fun of me for playing so much Rainbow Six Siege. I mean, I don't avoid my friends, but I get stuck playing Rainbow games and then miss hanging out with friends.
That's fair.
My fault. Goddamn me. Fuck Rainbow Six Siege. But goddamn it, I love it. Son of a bitch.
I'll try to start a kind. See, my problem with Rainbow Six Siege, first of all, I loved the Rainbow Six series growing up. You know, Rainbow Six Vegas.
Oh my God.
All the Tom Clancy Splinter Cell games. You know, Tom Clancy Double Agent, stuff like that. Phenomenal games. When it comes to Rainbow Six Siege, it's one, and not to say that I'm a phenomenal gamer or anything like that, or some super skilled gamer, but I have played a lot of first-person shooters and strategy games.
Again.
I know I'm frozen, and I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going and hope that it comes back. It came back.
Yes.
Came back. My problem with Rainbow Six Siege is it's one of the only games in my 24 years I've come across that I am complete ass. I feel so useless to my team, and I feel so in the way when I play Rainbow Six Siege, and the only enjoyment I get is that random kill I get every now and then by chance. Besides that, I'm terrible. You don't want me as a teammate.
That sounds about right.
You don't move on to,
and you don't want me as a friend because I play Rainbow Six Siege.
I'm gonna move on to my 4th. Once again, this is another one where I'm a huge fan of the entire franchise, but if I had to pick a specific game, I would probably have to pick Far Cry 4. It's a bit of a tie between Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, but I love the Far Cry series. Like, I don't even know. Far Cry series for me is one of those ones where I never heard a lot of my friends talk about it. Like, it's one of the ones where I was kind of alone on playing, but I just loved it so much for the simple fact that, you know, you can stealth it, you can go loud, you can unlock it, and you have certain games like Far Cry Primal where, like, and there's other Far Cries too where you have to actually, like, kill animals, harvest them to be able to upgrade your stuff. There's a lot of really cool aspects to the Far Cry series that make it just super fun for me to play, and I can get lost in it for hours.
I don't think I've played a single Far Cry game.
I wouldn't really play 1 or 2, but I recommend the rest just because 1 and 2 are so old. There's no clear plot points to it or anything like that.
For me at this point in time, like, that kind of formula, that like open worldy, do whatever the fuck you want formula, is just a little tired for me. So like, I don't think I'll ever play unless they massively change it up.
You're not gonna like my next one.
Oh no. All right, so what's that? That's on me, right? Number 7.
Yep.
Number 7 is another game that I have thousands of hours in. I'll say over 3,000 hours in, I'm pretty sure. And that's Battlefield 4. I've been a huge fan of the Battlefield franchise. I remember a long time ago when I first got a PC. I got a PC to play Diablo 2. So I built this PC, and my uncle also had a PC, and he was playing a game, and he had moved back. I grew up with my grandparents. He had moved back into my grandparents' house for a little while, and he was playing this game on his PC, and I'm hearing him in there, and like all these explosions going off, all this crazy shit. And I'm like, what the hell is going on in there? And I moved back in with my grandparents too, because I was, you know, just kind of a fuck up, playing video games, hanging out. So I go into his room, I'm like, what the fuck are you playing? And he's like, oh, I'm playing this game called Battlefield 2. And I was like, all right, let me try it. So I try it, and I'm playing it, and like, I don't know what it is that ticked in my head, but something just ticked in my head, and I was just like, this is fucking amazing. And I'm just sitting, and I was never an FPS guy. Like, I was always Diablo and shit. I played so much Battlefield 2, and then I was like, I'm in love with this. Right after Battlefield 2 came out, Battlefield, I want to say 2142 came out, and that was, that. If I had a top 10, that's probably number 11. Battlefield 2142 was amazing. But anyway, Battlefield 3 came out after that, and that was one of the ones where we were talking about like GameStop and stuff, sitting outside waiting for fucking games to get released. That was, I did that for Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 was great. It was a really good game. They kind of changed the formula, but then Battlefield 4 came out, and again, waited outside, got my Battlefield 4 copy, went home, and like both Battlefield 3 and 4 were so fucking broken on release, like you couldn't play them for the first 2 weeks. They were fucked up. But man, you know, a couple of months later, like they just stuck with Battlefield 3 and 4, and they turned it into like the best fucking FPS game, if you ask me, still to this day. It's absolutely perfect. It's amazing. There's destruction everywhere. It was so fucking good. And I'm missing a few Battlefields in between that were also amazing. Bad Company 2, blah, 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 blah. And anything after Battlefield 4 has been complete garbage. But Battlefield 4...
I enjoyed Battlefield 1.
Ugh. I mean, it was a good game, don't get me wrong, but it was a good game for like
I say that because that's the only Battlefield game I ever played.
Yeah,
I was a Call of Duty kid. You were a Battlefield kid.
Being a Battlefield
that's where
kid,
we differ. Like, that's the divide, you know?
I bet that if you went to Battlefield 4 and you loved it and you played a bunch of it, and then you went to Battlefield 1, you would have hated Battlefield 1. Because like on release, Battlefield 1 had like 10 guns, and that was the problem. That was a big fucking problem. Because everybody that was on Battlefield was coming off 4, which had like 150. There was a million guns in there. You go to Battlefield 1 and there's a couple guns with like no customization to the optics or anything. And just like, this is what I have. This shitty World War I gun that I can't do anything with.
Well, I mean, cool. It's realistic. You know, they didn't have the options that we have now. But...
Well, I mean, Call of Duty had World War I guns in there, and they were just like, fuck it, let's put optics on. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fun to play
Call of Duty
these
also
guns.
had Call of Duty Zombies, which...
True.
I played so much Call of Duty Zombies in my life, it's not even funny.
Very true.
I'm gonna get sidetracked if I don't move on to my next one.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
And my next one, if you know me, if anyone knows me, you know that I am a huge fantasy nerd. I love fantasy games. I mean, they're a huge part of me. I love them. Fantasy, I love anything old school, like the Renaissance Festival. I go every year, multiple times a year. I love dressing up. I just love the shit. My fourth game is going to be an edition of the Elder Scrolls series known as Skyrim.
Oh god.
I have played.
Of course.
So first of all, I love the Elder Scrolls series. I have the Elder Scrolls anthology. I've played them all. You know, Morrowind, Oblivion. I've played them all. But Elder Scrolls Skyrim, even to this day, still broken. But I have played so much Skyrim in my life, and I love the Elder Scrolls series. I know that Bethesda is beating it like a dead horse. I know they are. I know they've re-released it 17 times for the anniversary edition, special edition. Now it's this, now it's that, deluxe edition, deluxe
Tuesday
special
edition,
anniversary edition,
Wednesday edition.
But I have played so many different game saves of Skyrim in my life. It's not even funny. Different characters, different routes. You know what I mean? You can do anything that you want. You can't do anything you want, but you can do a lot. And if you are lucky enough to have a PC and you have Skyrim or Skyrim Deluxe, Skyrim Special Edition for PC, you can mod it to holy hell. And you can do a complete overhaul. Like my last playthrough of Skyrim, I did so many quality of life mods, completely reskinned the entire world, completely reskinned the map, you know, all kinds of new characters, all kinds of new quest lines. There's just so much you can do. Skyrim for me, I fell into. Actually, I remember gaming with my friends when I was probably my freshman year of high school, or maybe I was in middle school. I don't remember when Skyrim came out. But I remember everyone was talking about this game, Skyrim. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'd never heard of the Elder Scrolls series before in my life. And I actually bought the game thinking it was a multiplayer game and I could play with my buddies. That's the only reason I bought it. And then I found out it was only solo. And I'm like, well, this sucks. Whatever, I'll play it anyway. Fell in love with it like I had never loved a game before in my life. Loved Skyrim so very much. Went back and played all the Elder Scrolls games. I don't play Elder Scrolls Online. I know it's good, question mark, although they kind of fucked up the timelines to make it work. I know it's good. I know they add to it all the time, but we all want Elder Scrolls 6. So get out of here, ESO.
Fuck that game. I love it, but fuck
game.
You know, there's another one. I've never played a minute of Skyrim. Not 1 minute.
I haven't played any of the Diablo games, so I'm gonna let that slide.
Yeah. My girlfriend played a shit ton of Elder Scrolls. It's like her favorite. She's got like
cooler than you are.
She's got runes tattooed on her knuckles or fingers.
Love it.
Something like that, or maybe those are. I don't know, I think they were Oblivion things.
They're probably the Oblivion symbols.
Yeah, I think that's what she said.
Oblivion gate.
Something like that. They're like, yeah, they're on her fingers. Anyway, what was I on?
You were on 7.
6. Yeah, so we're at 6. 6 is quick and easy. Road Rash 2, done. I don't think I need to say more. That was on the Sega. I want to say it was on the Sega Genesis. Road Rash 2. Road Rash 64 was the same deal. Road Rash 2 is what turned me on to Road Rash. I was a kid playing that game. And like, I don't have any cool stories or anything. It was just a shit ton of fun to play with your friends. You know, pass the controller off and shit and play Road Rash. Ton of fun. I miss that game.
Love it. I think, what am I on now? 4th or 5th? 5th.
You're probably on 5 since that was my 6th. So we're on
5. Yes, I'm on 5. So weird that we're doing it like this, but
I kind of like
5th,
it.
I do too. My 5th is the original Borderlands. I love the Borderlands series. I'm a huge fan of the Borderlands series, but the original Borderlands for me, it did so much for me. I loved it. It was probably one of the first games that I ever like really got into playing online with strangers, you know, besides like the Call of Duty games and stuff like that. I would just meet up with random people and play the shit out of the Borderlands series. And I did up to just a few years ago. I love the Borderlands series. I love the different directions they've taken with it. I actually just started playing Borderlands 3 not long ago. I played a little bit on stream and I played a lot of it off stream. Didn't finish it, fell off. Not because of the game. I love the game. I just didn't have time for it and I put it down and I started something else, which unfortunately I do all the time. Anyone that watches my live streams know I start series with intentions to finish it and I'll stream 3 or 4 sessions and you'll never see it again. The only series that I fully completed, I think, was the Walking Dead series.
I remember
last year.
I remember that.
And I played every game in the series, one after another. I told myself I was gonna go on this big Telltale Games kick, and I was gonna play all the Walking Dead games, all the Batman games, all the Wolf Among Us games, and I did actually start playing the Batman games 1 session, and I was off it. So
always paved with
that's
good
my
intentions.
fifth. It's the original Borderlands, which also introduced me to one of my favorite bands, Cage the Elephant.
I didn't know what that is.
Ain't no rest for the wicked. That was the theme song to that game.
I was never like a huge Borderlands guy. I played it.
I love it personally.
I mean, it was fun. I liked it. I never played much of it.
It's another one of those games I could get lost in solo, which I've always appreciated about video games. I love a game that I can play by myself and be just as happy as if my friends were here with me.
Are they doing a movie? A Borderlands movie? Or am I just thinking of
I
something else?
I think Jack Black is supposed to be Claptrap.
Really? So they are doing it?
I don't know if that was fake or if they're really doing it.
Oh,
but they did just make a new Mario movie, so they'll make anything.
I just saw the
Which I haven't seen yet, so
I won't say anything until you do.
I'll have to go watch it, and then we can discuss it on a future podcast.
Do it, because it's worth watching.
Oh, I want to see it. Don't get me wrong. So you're on your fifth.
Yes. Yeah, my fifth right now. All right. You know, I don't know if I'm going to get some flack for anybody who does watch this. I know it's our first episode, so I'm sure it's probably not going to be, really highly viewed, which is fine with me because I don't want the sports nuts to jump on me. Now, I don't watch sports. I don't watch sports at all. I don't know shit about sports. Don't care. But, I'm a video game guy. Sportsing, just not in my realm. But when I was younger, playing sports games was a lot of fun. There were some really fun fucking sports games, man, back in the day. And there was one in particular, and this was the end of a franchise. This was literally the last fucking sports game that was able to be made that had the NFL that was non-EA. Last one. This was the reason that EA bought the rights to the NFL. And it was called NFL 2K5. Oh, were you thinking of something else?
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, NFL 2K, the 2K series of NFL games was so fucking good that EA had to buy the rights to the NFL, so then they couldn't make games anymore because they were starting to beat Madden. They were starting to get up there. And NFL 2K5 was so fucking customizable and so good, and all this stuff was free. They were just starting to get into like microtransactions and all the bullshit, and NFL 2K5 made everything free. So like your franchise mode, all your stuff, it was all free. Plus, you could get it, so you had a season mode where you could make your own team, make your own players. There was a draft for, your first season, you have all your players. But if you whip the shit out of the computer, then all of your guys want way more money for the next year, and you can't afford them anymore. So if you play more seasons, sometimes you're trading your own guys out. And then you're playing against your own guys in the next season. It was so much fun. So if I made myself, and then the next thing you know, I want way more money because I'm the quarterback, obviously. I want more money the next year in my contract, and the team can't afford it. You're the team. You're playing as the team, so you're like, shit, I can't afford that guy. I need to get a different quarterback. I go to another team, and then in the Super Bowl or something, you're playing against me because I just whipped everybody's ass. So much fun. And then, on top of it, you made money, and you had a house. You had a fucking house, and you could put shit in it, and invite your friends over to check it out. So you could walk around your house with all your cool shit in it and build additions onto your house and stuff. It was so much fun. I could sit here and talk about it for hours. I'm not gonna. But it was so much fucking fun. I've never played a football game that was like that ever since. That game is still fucking better than Madden. So yes, NFL.
Never been huge on sport. When I was younger, I played a lot of sports games, but as an adult, I have no interest in them. I don't watch sports. Like you said, I'm a video game guy. I played all the sports growing up. I wrestled for 4 years, played football 3 years, soccer 2 years, played a season of baseball. I never played basketball. And I never really loved any of those sports. I was just one of those kids whose parents always wanted them to do sports. Mm-hmm. And I finally got to an age where I'm like, I'm not really interested in this. And they're like, oh, well, I guess we can stop paying for it, we don't got to drag it to practices anymore.
Band Geek Mafia, baby. Band Geek Mafia.
I was in choir. But,
loser. Fucking nerd.
Yeah, I'll be. Let's move on to my sixth. See, I'm putting mine terribly. You're actually doing yours in a good order. I had named off some of my favorites, top 3 favorites, and now the rest of them I kind of all the same. You know what I mean? So right. I'm just gonna keep going in a number format. But my number 6, and we already talked about it briefly, is Minecraft. I love Minecraft. Minecraft is one of those games that I was a huge YouTube kid. Ever since YouTube came out in 2005, I was obsessed with YouTube. I was always on it. And all my free time, I would watch YouTube 24/7. And I discovered a YouTuber whose name is Meatwagon22. Love him to death. Watch him to this day. Well, he used to play he used to play Call of Duty Zombies way back in the day. Now he plays everything.
I like that name.
I love that name. But I've literally been watching this guy. I've been watching this guy for well over 10 years, which is amazing to me. It's mind-blowing. I watch his streams these days, and I'll talk to him in chat, and he recognizes me sometimes from YouTube comments a decade ago. He's such a cool guy. But I randomly discovered a video of him playing Minecraft, and I watched him play it for hours, and I'm like, this game looks amazing. And before I ever owned a PC, I bought Minecraft for the Xbox, which big Minecraft fans will know. Back in the day, Minecraft PC clearly would get updates before Minecraft Xbox would. And back in the day, there was no modded Minecraft. Minecraft was vanilla. It was straight vanilla, but you still loved it. I mean, back in the day, the coolest thing to do was make cobblestone generators and mine for diamonds with your friends. They didn't have all those new, interesting mods. Shout out to Cozy Pigeon. Didn't have all those new, cool mods and stuff like that. Minecraft was as vanilla as it got. But Minecraft was a game for me growing up that was always like a warm hug. I loved Minecraft. The soundtrack, I could listen to it and build and mine for hours with friends or by myself. And then it finally got to a point where, I got a PC and I got to play newer Minecraft. And in the beginning, they would update it all the time. Every month there was a new Minecraft update, and with every update, they brought new awesome things. I did. You probably can't find them. Don't look for them. But when I was in like freshman year of high school, 8th grade, I used to make YouTube videos with my buddies of Minecraft mod reviews and stuff. Like back when Twilight Forest first came out and stuff like that. No, you cannot find it. Don't search. My old gamer tag is far dead, and I will not repeat it. But I just love Minecraft. To this day, I've fallen off it. It's a shame. But it's a game where every now and then, I don't talk about playing it much, but every now and then I will go and just solo play some Minecraft. And usually I turn myself offline when I do it because anyone that sees you playing Minecraft's like, can I play? Can I play? And I do not blame them because it's just such a fun game to play with people. It's one of those games where you can all be off doing separate things and you feel like you're standing right next to each other. It's just amazing. It's one of those games where no one will say a word for 40 minutes. And all of a sudden someone will go, and you'll go, oh shit, I'm playing with people. You know what I mean? Yeah. I love Minecraft. So,
dude,
like
I
said,
never played a minute of Minecraft.
love it. See,
it's funny. So, like,
least...
my time. What's that?
Nothing. It froze on a funny face again.
Oh, nice. Your top 10 is made up of games that, like, I've never fucking touched.
I mean, we have different experiences through gaming, but we both appreciate video games for the same reason. I think that's the beautiful thing about it.
Definitely do. If I had way more time in my life, I probably would have played a shit ton of Minecraft. I was busy on Diablo and Battlefield.
So what's your fourth?
Okay. No, Jesus. So this game I played. Okay, so after I was done playing Diablo forever on PC, I kind of needed something else. I'm a wicked space nerd. Like, I'm just a stupid space nerd, man. I love Star Trek. I love Star Wars. I love any
I love Star Wars. Love
any sci-fi stuff.
Sci-fi.
Right? You know what I mean? I'm
like
totally in. So I found this game. I played the first one, and it's called Masters of Orion 1. The first one, fucking mint. I loved it. And then they came out with a game called Masters of Orion 2. And this game came out in like 1996. Like, I'm old. This game was fucking forever ago. And holy shit, I loved it. It's literally just Space Wars. There's a whole galaxy. You're an alien race. There are a bunch of other alien races. You all just build civilizations and then fight each other. Or don't fight each other and try to make peace, whatever, trade, all that stuff. And then every so often in the galactic years, like, there's a federation of planets, all of the people, all of the races are represented, and they vote on someone to become the galactic leader, and that's what you want to do in the end, is become the galactic leader, or kill off enough alien races that you just vote yourself the galactic leader. And then sometimes if they, well, then what's cool is after they vote a galactic leader and you're not it, then you either have a chance to go along with it and join them, or say no, and then all of the alien races go to war with you. And it's so much fun. Yeah, and it's like that's literally all it is. It's a real simple game. Like I said, it's fucking like 50 jabillion years old. But I just literally whipped it out and played it maybe like a couple of months ago, and I still fucking love it. I totally whipped it out. I whipped it right the fuck out and played it.
My next one, first of all, I'm a huge sci-fi fan. Love sci-fi to death. I love Doctor Who. Anything along those lines, big fan of. I know that's not a game, but love sci-fi.
How do they not have a Doctor Who game? Really?
It might be somewhere out there, but I never heard of it or played it.
There's gotta be one.
Love Doctor Who though, but this would be my 6th game. No, this would be my 7th game. Yeah, my 7th game. And once again, this is another one that's very hard to pick a single one for me. I'm gonna have to go with probably the franchise. No, I'll go with number 2. And you've probably played this as well. I know people are getting kind of excited because they just announced they're making a show of it on Peacock, which I've never watched Peacock a day in my life. It's really frozen this time.
Oh yeah, you are froze the fuck up.
My 7th game is going to be Twisted Metal 2.
Oh! Kicking myself in the ass without including a Twisted Metal game.
Oh my god, I love the Twisted Metal series. Me and my brothers used to play that on the Sega Dreamcast constantly.
Dude.
I have a lot of family that's from up north Michigan. Anyone from Michigan knows what I mean when I say up north. And there's nothing to do. There's trees and lakes. That's up north Michigan. It's a bunch of old retirees and stuff like that. But if you were lucky enough to have a game console, you could play games like Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal
was good.
It holds a spot in my heart right along like Battle Tanks for the N64.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal was the shit, and they're about to come out with a TV show on Peacock, which hopefully they do well.
I can't wait.
If they don't do it well, I'll be pretty upset.
If they base it on the storyline of Twisted Metal 2, you know that like comic book storyline where like Calypso was, you know, granting wishes and everybody would grant a wish or ask for a wish and he'd fucking screw them every time.
There is a video. I'm going to promote something else right now. There is a video on YouTube you can go and look up. I personally love this video. I've watched it 3 times. And the title is something along the lines of every Twisted Metal ending rated from worst to best. And it's literally like a 2-hour or like an hour and 40-minute video. And it's literally every single ending and twist ending from the Twisted Metal series, ranked from worst to best. It's amazing. It's so enjoyable.
Oh man, some of them Calypso like completely fucked people, and it actually made me feel bad. Remember, like some of them were, you know, they like.
Well, I mean, you would fight through everything, and then it's like. So what I think
was it Axel who was just like, I just want my family back or something, and he'd be like,
I think it was Twisted Metal 2, where the big thing was he would twist your words. So whatever you said, he would do either the ironic or the literal version of what you said. So I'm trying to think of what it was like. I think in like the ending of Twisted Metal 1 or whatever, like someone's brother got sent to space, and in Twisted Metal 2, the chick was like, I want to see my brother. So he fucking sends her to space. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, there was some crazy shit he would do to people.
Twisted Metal is probably my 7th.
Yeah. All right.
Probably gonna run a little long on time, but that's all right.
All right, I mean, we're almost there anyway. Damn, dude. Twisted Metal. I should have had that in there. Twisted Metal 2 and 3 were like staples of my childhood. Fuck. You know, I'd probably throw that in there somewhere around 8 or 9. I'd probably have to. I'd just kick Siege out. Fuck it.
Yeah, there you go. That's appropriate.
All right, so my number 3. I shouldn't have clapped that. Whatever. My number 3. This one also was a staple of my childhood. At the same time that Twisted Metal was, me and a buddy of mine used to go back and forth and play games at each other's house. So I had the 64. He had the PlayStation. So we would play Twisted Metal at his house, and we'd play WCW NWO Revenge at my house, right? That, you know, that game was so fucking good, and we would like customize characters. And mind you, it was the entire THQ series that they had that honestly should be in this slot because I played so much of all of them. WCW NWO Revenge was the first one, or World Tour was the first one. Revenge was the second one, and then I think, you know, it moved on to like WCW had another company making their games, but then later on THQ Nordic started making wrestling games for WWE. They made like WrestleMania 2000. You know, I think there was another one in there.
Play the shit out of those WWE games.
Oh fuck, they were so good.
Like all the action figures.
Day of Reckoning was wicked good. Day of Reckoning 2.
Time I used to watch wrestling, yeah.
Oh, fucking crazy. But yeah, the thing is, like, the one that gave me the bug to like play these games was WCW NWO Revenge. That was when you could first like customize wrestlers, do crazy stuff with them, make whatever the fuck you want to make. And
make these atrocious characters.
Anything, yeah. You just go fucking nuts.
That big. You could have a huge green one for no reason.
Yeah, you bulk up their polygons.
Gym, you know.
Yeah, you'd be making doing body slams, but you're just you're inside the character because the polygons didn't matter half of the time. Yeah, that's why number 6.
Did you use for all your characters?
What's that?
Whose entrance theme did you use for all your characters?
Oh man, we use different ones all the time. But I mean,
I use Shawn Michaels for everyone.
Oh really?
If we're talking about a WWE game, I'm just a sexy boy. Sexy boy.
Makes sense. I mean, we'd have different concepts. Like me and my buddy Casey would make all kinds of crazy concepts for stuff. He had a concept for like his character that he had 2 characters. One was that he would make all the time. One was called Numbskull, and the other one was called Grasshopper. And that was like his baby face was Grasshopper and his heel was Numbskull. But we were this. So this was why we used to play these games. We were a tag team, right? And I was Poobot all the time. I don't know. It's always Poobot. So here was the concept of our tag team. I would use him as a weapon all the time. So like and that's why we love Day of Reckoning, because I don't know if anybody remembers Day of Reckoning. You could actually, any contact made by wrestlers hit the wrestler. So you could do we would do these crazy ass moves. Like I would do, a springboard off of the ropes, running springboard off of the ropes, and he would hip toss me out of the ring onto a guy that we'd have on a table. Like we just do this crazy stuff. I would like give him an RKO. It wasn't an RKO at the time, but I'd give him a diamond cutter onto a guy that's laying on the ground and shit. Like we would just do crazy stuff like that. And it was so much fun that we could do it.
You know what my favorite springboard move was always?
What?
The lion salt.
Oh, so good, man. Chris Jericho was really good.
Love Chris Jericho. I wish I watched All Elite Wrestling. I don't watch wrestling anymore.
I don't either.
It was amazing when it first started because it was like, yeah, screw you, WWE. We're going to bring all your people over here and pay them right. But I just don't watch it anymore.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think, what am I on now? My eighth game for me is going to be, and there's going to be people who, if anyone watches this, someone in the comments is going to chew my ass for this because I'm not going to say New Vegas. I'm going to have to go with Fallout 3. 3. I loved Fallout 3 with a passion. I played all the DLCs. I discovered every single location. Fallout 3 was the Fallout for me that got me in love with the series. Clearly, I love New Vegas. New Vegas is really good. I love New Vegas.
You're going to catch flack for that.
But I'm going to get fucked up for this. But Fallout 3 was phenomenal. I really, really enjoyed it. Fallout 4 is good. I'm going to leave it at that. It's good. Fallout 3 for me was the way to go. But New Vegas, it gets a gold star.
I literally just watched an episode or an interview with Todd Howard. I think he was on Lex Friedman podcast, and he was talking about the differences between Fallout 3 and New Vegas because they bought the Fallout franchise from the people that made it. I think they now make they're Obsidian. They've literally turned into like Obsidian games, and they made.
I think Obsidian is who makes Outer Worlds, right?
Yeah, Outer Worlds.
Another phenomenal game.
Amazing game, like in same vein as New Vegas, basically, which is funny because Oblivion got bought by Microsoft. Microsoft bought Bethesda, so now they're together. But anyway, it was an interview where Todd Howard was talking about. If people don't know, Todd Howard is the owner of Bethesda, the head of Bethesda, CEO. He was talking about how when they made Fallout 3, they wanted it to be different from New Vegas because there were differences they had in mind. They wanted them to come to life. Blah 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 blah. That's how Fallout 3 came out. And it's funny that you love it because all of the New Vegas people are gonna fucking hate you.
I know. But as someone who clearly played New Vegas and clearly played 3, I love them both.
It's funny that there's that divide.
There is that divide, yes. Yeah. There is.
But it makes sense. I get it. All right, number 2 for me. Maybe you know this one. I hope you know this one. Because honestly, this was one of the best games ever fucking made. And I'll die on that hill. I don't give a shit. It's called Parasite Eve. And it was so fucking good. And it was for the PlayStation 1. And it was fucking... I want to strangle everything because it's so good. It was so fucking good. I know it, I've never played it. So it was made in the same vein as like Final Fantasy VII, which also gets an honorable mention on my list. It'd be like number 11 or number 12. The original Final Fantasy VII was fucking amazing. Parasite Eve for the PlayStation 5, Final Fantasy VII was like 7 discs. Parasite Eve was 5 discs, and it was absolutely phenomenal. The idea was that there was an infection, kinda. It turns out to not be an infection. Mitochondria are taking over. Like, people have large amounts of mitochondria in them, are kind of turning into monsters, but they're like, they're smart monsters. So anyway, you're a person. You're just like a detective who's got a gun, and you can like customize all your guns and shit. If I'm hoping that I'm remembering that correct, because literally it's been like 20 years since I fucking played it, but it was so good, and I remember beating it. And it took forever to beat it. Like I said, it's 5 discs. But the cool thing is, at the end of it, there's this, and this was revolutionary for the time. No game did this. There was a building that you go into, and there was like 100 rooms in it, and an elevator, and you had to beat all 100 rooms all the way up at once. And I never did it. I always made it to like 70 or 60. But yeah, it was fucking good. I always wish that I went back and figured out if I could beat all of those rooms, because they're levels. Fuck, they were good. That game was so good.
My next one, you might
So you've never heard of it?
No, I've heard of it. I've just never played it.
So
I know. I can see it in your eyes. You're upset.
hurts.
I will look.
Cuts me deep.
I will emulate it if I have to.
So good. If you do, let me know so I can.
My next one, and there I can honestly give honorable mentions to 1, 2, and Absolution. I'm gonna go with Hitman Blood Money.
Oh, good one. Good one.
I played the shit out of the Hitman series.
Me too.
When I was younger. I loved the Hitman games. I mean, like, they've done movies that were pretty good. You know, I enjoyed both movies that I did see. But the games back in the day were like, it was where it's at. It's like the key of blending in stealth assassination. I don't really know. I can't really think off the top of my head any game series that's really right along the same lines as the Hitman series.
No.
But it's so fucking cool. It's such a cool concept. If you got to play all the games all the way from Hitman Agent 47 all the way to the ones that they're doing nowadays, good.
I'll tell you, one of the most memorable levels in any game that I've ever played in my entire life, and hopefully, I don't know if you remember this, remember playing Hitman 1, the first Hitman, and at the last mission, you know how you have that shack, and like as you play through the game, you're putting more guns on your shack because you know you earn more guns, and then the last mission of the game, they attack your place. Was it Blood Money?
I think that's Blood Money.
Well, anyway, they attack your place, and you're like there with nothing except your pistols, but there's a million guys, and they put you right on the ground floor, like right next to your shack, and you just go into your shack and just grab all of the guns that you can. You just grab a gun, use it, run out of ammo, go grab another one, and fucking just mow everybody down. It's so much fun.
Shack is what has me in love with that game. It was the coolest concept. You could collect weapons from the missions you play and place them in your shack.
Put them in the shack.
It's the coolest shit.
I just thought it was cool to be able to put it in the shack.
It looked badass.
Yeah, but then to use them at the end.
I watched my brothers play a lot, but I played the shit out of it as well.
So good. That level, that mission, will forever probably be the coolest single-player mission that I've ever played in my entire gaming history. So happy about that. I thought that was the coolest thing on the planet.
Oh, it's your turn. Yeah.
Oh yeah, number 1.
You're number 2. Is it number 1?
It's my number 1.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
You won't be. Nobody would be. Nobody would be able to guess what my number 1 is because it's fucking crazy. Remember I told you. What's that?
You got me wondering.
I mean, remember how I told you that I had this disc that was a blue disc for the PlayStation 2 and it got scratched? Can't use it anymore. It's this game. It was a Japanese import, and it was a game called Robot Alchemic Drive. Rad, right? And all it was is there's a fucking huge city. They had a couple of different cities, a couple configurations, but it's a giant city.
I've never heard of this game.
I didn't think nobody has. Well, actually, have you ever played any of the Earth Crisis games? Yeah. Well, anyway, if anybody out there knows Earth Crisis, this is how the Earth Crisis got made. So, Robot Alchemic Drive is technically the first Earth Crisis, but point is, you're literally just a person, right, in this city, but you're part of an elite squad of people called RAD, Robot Alchemic Drive, and you command a robot that is underneath the city that can come up, but you're just running. You're literally a little. You're literally a little just a regular old person, and the city is the size of a city. But you can fly a little bit, like you can upgrade your jetpack and stuff, so you can fly higher. But the whole purpose. What's that?
Kind of reminds me of Crackdown.
Kind of. Here's the thing: aliens are invading. Giant aliens are invading, right? So an alien will drop down into the city, and they just want to destroy all of the buildings. So you have to fly up, and you have a PlayStation controller. You have to fly up to, like, you don't have to. You could fight from the ground if you want to, but literally, you push a button, your robot gets, comes out of the ground, and then you're looking up at this giant fucking robot, and you command it with your controller, and it's so clunky that I love it. The idea is, your triggers are Wait, I think so. Left leg forward is left bumper. Right leg forward is right bumper.
That specific?
Yeah, left leg back is left trigger. Right leg back is right trigger. And your robot is so clunky, and you control the arms with the thumbsticks.
Can I give an honorable mention?
Sure.
Honorable mention goes to Destroy All Humans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I can see where you come up with that.
That game was so cool.
That
You
was
just
a really
mentioned
fucking fun
aliens,
game.
and for some reason it flooded my brain.
I mean, Destroy All Humans would probably be up there for me too. I don't know, top 10, maybe top 20. It'd be up there. But yeah, Robot LK McDrive. Oh, you could also, that was the fun thing. You could walk away from the alien and destroy the whole city yourself. You just knock the buildings down. You could use the buildings and like smash them with it and stuff. You know what it was that made it different was just how slow and weighted the gameplay was. Like when you smash a building, your robot's just like, boom, and then the building's like, and you could have these arm rockets, like your arms would come off, basically just like any anime. You know what I mean? And then you could shoot it.
Like a Gundam style.
It would take out like a bunch of buildings and you shot it and like
Gundam style. Is that what it is?
Gangnam Style.
No, that's not what it is.
What?
Gundams?
What?
Is that Gundams? Whatever. It's a type of anime where it's like fighting robots.
Yeah, Gundam. I wasn't a huge fan of Gundam. See, those robots are too fast for me. Sometimes you just it's too quick.
I think my number 10. You might have played some of this because there's parts of it that are more popular than other parts of it. It's basically a spin-off of the Half-Life series. I am referring to Gary's Mod.
Oh, good call. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, Gary's Mod has Trouble in Terrorist Town, Murder, the original Prop Hunt. Dark RP was my thing. I played the shit out of Dark RP. Gary's Mod to this day holds the record for most hours played in my Steam library, which is well over like 600-700. When I first got a gaming laptop freshman year of high school, I played the shit out of Gary's Mod. Solo, with friends. I mean, I just played the shit out of Gary's Mod. I love that game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much that you can do within it.
I mean, yeah, it's like 50 games in one.
It born this this period of time for YouTube too, where like YouTubers like Vanoss and stuff like that, they still to this day play the shit out of Gary's Mod. When you see them playing like Prop Hunt, Murder, Trouble in Terrorist Town, games like that, that's all Gary's Mod.
Mm-hmm.
You know, love it.
Yeah. Boom.
And that's my loose top 10. I suppose you could say top 10.
You should have wrote them down as you were making them.
I should have, yeah. But yeah, as far as video games go for me, like those are some of the ones that throughout the years have just brought me a lot of comfort. Video gaming for me is a comfort thing, obviously. It makes you feel good, it makes you feel all range of emotions. That's the best part of it. You want to be scared, you want to be sad, do you want to be excitable, do you want to be intrigued? I mean, do you want to have your mind blown? That's what video games is for me. It's my escape from reality, which clearly that's what video games are.
Yeah,
but
man.
Video games
People
for me
have fun.
It's been that tight hold that you can feel. You know what I mean? It's that warm embrace. And I do have some honorable mentions. There are some games that just feel warm to me. You know, like I played one the other day on stream, A Flame in the Flood. I love Don't Starve Together. I love Oxygen Not Included. Surviving Mother. There's certain games that just are they bring me the same style of warmth that Minecraft did. Because they're creative, they engage your brain, and it's just one of those things where when you can sit down and focus on something, and you know, someone like me, I have ADHD. I've had it my entire life. It was never like a shocking thing to me. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 4 years old. So I've grown up with it. I was medicated for half my life, and I've chosen to be unmedicated for, you know, up to this point in my life. Video games for me relax my brain. They take away my anxiety, they take away my stress. I feel like I'm at home. You know, like sitting in front of my computer right now, talking with a friend. I feel like I'm at home. That's what video games are for me. You know, and I feel very privileged to be able to, you know, work and afford to be able to upgrade and continuously add to the things that, you know, make me so happy. You know, new mic, new webcam, bought a better computer a couple years ago, and ever since, that's a perfect. Thanks, webcam. I just was talking about you.
How
Leave this
ironic
one-
is that?
Just leave this one in.
Fuck it.
Fuck you, webcam. Fuck my new equipment.
Thank God I can upgrade to this awesome webcam.
I was gonna get deep and you ruined it. I'm done. Let's wrap this shit up.
Just fucking wrap it up. The camera's like, wrap it up, E. That was perfectly timed.
Yeah. What do you say? You about ready for that outro?
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, I think this works out. Like, this is a really good introduction to who we are. We give our top 10 games. You know what I mean? Let people know what's up in case they're unfamiliar with us. Though I think most people will, but it's always good to let everybody know what you're into. You know, it seems like you're into a lot more, or were through the years into a lot more AAA titles, mainstream games. I guess I was a little more independent.
There are a good handful of independent titles out there that I'm a big fan of, but put on the spot, I could just think of the big ones, which was fine with me. You know, I still really love those games. I do struggle sometimes with, you know, you have services in today's world like Xbox Game Pass, where, you know, you pay a set price and they will literally give you a collection of games, which probably a good portion of them you never heard of.
Yeah.
There are some people out there that can just look at that list and go, no, that one. And they'll play it and they like it or they don't play it. I'm so critical. And it irritates me to my soul sometimes. And it's part of my ADHD is I'll look at a game and I'll go, man, that game looks really good. But you know how video games in today's world will make this cool like intro video and it's like, oh, this game plays awesome. And then you click on it and all of a sudden it goes from this cool 3D like Matrix style thing to like a top-down scroller, and you're like, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah. No, I totally know what you're saying. You know, the thing for me is lately, hopefully I can relate this properly. Today's AAA titles to me have turned into yesterday's indies, and the reason that I say that is this: back in the day, it used to be indie games that were fucked up. You know, you would buy an indie game back in the day, back in the old computer days, and it would be not what you paid for. You know, like you said. It's got this cool intro because all the indies back in the day, they would spend all their money on this like cool, like, you know, cultivated trailer, I'll say, you know, beginning, intro, whatever you want to call it, and then they play that, but the game is completely different. I mean, it's like they're pulling the wool down, and then they're like, "Hey, gotcha." But
what's the word for it again? Not pandering. What's the word for it? It's
I mean, it's kind of a bait and switch in the end.
It's baiting.
Yeah, they just bait and switch it. Yeah, so like. You know,
classic bait and switch. They've done it for years.
That's what indies used to be. But nowadays, people who make indie games are so passionate about games and have been fucked so hard from AAA titles that some of the indie games that are being made now are some of the best fucking games being made. And it's the AAA titles that are bait and switching everybody. You know, these games like Anthem that they come out with that are supposed to be fucking amazing AAA titles, and the next thing you know, they're piles of shit.
You know, that's the thing for me personally that, you know, and you guys will come to, if you don't know us through PBS or you don't watch us on Twitch, because we're Twitch live streamers, and obviously we make content for YouTube. If you don't know us, then you probably wouldn't know, you know, obviously too much about us. But for me personally, like I said, I've always been a YouTube guy. I've watched YouTube ever since it became a thing. What made me fall in love with just the the possibility of being able to actually make content myself wasn't from watching content creators play these huge AAA titles. It was from watching creators play these little indie games. You know, I love indie games. I highly support small game developers. You know, it's something like that. Just, I feel like if I was to stream a small indie game that I'm learning at the same time as the people that are viewing me are learning, I can feel far more connected not only to the game, but to the people that are watching me and the people I'm trying to entertain, because it's a more surreal experience for me. Like I said, if I'm playing Call of Duty, I know what I'm getting myself into. If I'm playing Skyrim, I know what I'm getting myself into. If I'm playing some random game I just found, I streamed a game a year ago, a little indie game I found randomly searching through horror games on Steam called Gloomwood. It's some of the most fun I've had in a minute. It's a rough built, like, it's a little indie game. rough-built indie game, horror game that you can buy on Steam. I think it's like $4. I really enjoyed myself. Some of the best streaming I've ever had. Those small little indie games.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Dude, honestly, like when you really boil it down, the AAA titles and the AAA companies that are making games today were the indie developers of yesterday, because games were so much smaller. Everything was so much smaller. That's why they were making these amazing fucking games. You know, Halo
Absolutely.
1 and 2, like that was back when they were just a small ass company making games that they loved. And now they're gigantic and fucking everything up.
And games like that bore a new life for companies, full companies. If you guys don't know of a company called Rooster Teeth, there's a company out there called Rooster Teeth that literally started, they really blew up from a YouTube series they made called Red vs. Blue, which they made through the same engine as Halo. It was a Halo-based little YouTube sketch show. And now they're this huge multi-million-dollar company. Like, video games breathe so much life for people. Video games do wonders for people. You know, like, if you had parents like mine, then you were probably told somewhere along the way, you play too many video games, they're gonna rot your brain, it'll never be productive. Never did I thought, you know, it kind of shut me down a little bit, but never would I have thought, because I didn't have confidence in myself, that I would be at a point in my life where I can be the one making this content. I can be the one entertaining people, and I am truly blessed that people find me entertaining enough to be able to make content for people and be, you know, hopefully one day the role model for people like they were for me. You know, I didn't idolize big movie actors or anything like that. I idolized small content creators that became huge. You know what I mean? Like, big people nowadays that back then no one had heard of. You know, I watched PewDiePie long before he ever got famous. You know, or like I said, Rooster Teeth, Meatwagon22, little content creators like that, they inspired me. And they still inspire me to this day to do what we're doing right now. I mean, you and I, we're just average guys. You know, we work, we relax, we play video games. You know, that's life. And I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that, because I get moments like this where I get to sit down with a friend and make something that someone, or at some point in time, even if it's not right now, 5 years down the road, someone could come back and watch this on YouTube and go, oh, this is awesome. These guys are great. I'd love to see where they're at now. You know what I mean? Who knows? It might not happen, but it's the possibility. That's a privilege to be able to do that.
It's true.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Very happy with it.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good way to end it. That was a good speech. That was your that was the Independence Day level speech. Everybody does one of these.
I'll be the next president of the United States. No. No. But yeah, I mean, if we're gonna go ahead and wrap it there, then I mean, really all I can say is thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it, and we really are looking forward to continuing doing this. I don't care if 2 people watch this. We're gonna make 50 more of these. We're gonna make 100 more of these, because this is what's fun for us. So
it's fun.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to do this for you, and I'm sure you feel the same.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally do. Like I said, I think I literally just said it's fun to sit around. I didn't mean to say that. I meant to actually say in the end, it's fun to sit around and talk with your friends about video games. But yeah, I mean, we plan on having guests, I'm pretty sure. I know ThirdSon is totally up for that. We'll have people on here, talk to them about things. It's actually going to be us blabbering, but we're definitely going to be doing a bunch of blabbering. So, yay. Yeah, hopefully you love us, because that's what this is going to be.
Yeah, because I love you. That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, take us on out, ThirdSon.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a good day, and we will see you next time. Later.